Shabbos Daf Samach Zayin contains one Mishnah and then takes us to the end of the chapter. So from the beginning of the Daf until the Mishnah is 99% discussing two types of cures. There are cures which involve hanging some objects in a bag around your neck, and then there are cures which involve saying an incantation. So let's see what the Gemara says as far as these cures. Then we'll have one halacha and we'll get to the Mishnah. So, first of all, you have a cure for something called shachefes. This is listed in the Torah's Tochacha. It's a fever that strikes people every 3 days, the Gemara seems to say. And how do you cure this? You hang something around your neck and you create it in the following ways. You need to take 7 branches from 7 date trees, 7 pieces of wood from 7 wooden beams, 7 pegs from 7 bridges, 7 pieces of ash from 7 ovens, 7 pieces of dirt from the floor socket of 7 doors, 7 pieces of tar from 7 ships, 7 kernels of cumin, 7 hairs from an old dog, and tie all these things at the opening of your shirt by a strand of hair. That will be effective for that. Okay, next, if you have kadachas, which is a very burning fever, so you want to get rid of the fire of the fever, you need to make use of the fact that the sneh, the bush, which burned, which had the fire of the Shekhinah and it didn't burn. You're going to use that to cure yourself of this fever. So this is what you do. You have to take a knife that is totally made of iron, go to a sneh, a thorn bush of the sneh brand. The Gemara calls it vardina. And you have to tie a knot of your hair, a strand of your hair, onto the bush, and then you're going to come back 3 times. Each time you're going to make a notch, a scratch in the bush, and you're going to say one of the psukim of Moshe Rabbeinu's interaction with the Shekhinah and the description of the bush that was not affected by the fire. So first of all, the first day you're going to say Vayera Malach Hashem Elav, Vayera Malach Hashem Elav Belabas Eish Matei Chasneh Vayar V'hinei Esneh Bar Beish V'Sneh Enein Ukol. And Moshe saw the angel of Hashem in the fire, and the bush wasn't burned. The next time you're going to say the pasuk, the next pasuk, Vayomer Moshe Asurin of Er'eh. As Amar HaGadol Hazeh Medu Elo Yivar Esneh. You're going to say that the bush isn't burning. I wonder why not. And then the third time you're going to say Vayar Hashem Kisor Lirois. Hashem saw that he turned to look, and that's going to be your indication that the fever should turn away from you and you shouldn't be affected by it anymore. Now, the Gemara says, Racha, son of Rava, said to Rav Ashi, it's not the right pasuk. You should also have the pasuk Al Tikrav Halom, where Hashem said to Moshe, do not come close. And you're telling the fever, don't come close to me, stay away from me. So Gemara revises, and Gemara says, the first 2 psukim about the fire not consuming the bush, you say the first day, then you say the pasuk of Sar Liros, turning away, and the third day you say the pasuk of don't come close. Now, you're not done. Then the fever will leave you, and then you have to do the following thing. You go chop the bush off close to the ground, and then you say to him, listen, Hashem did not choose to rest a Shekhinah on you because you're taller than the other trees, but because you're humbler than the other trees. And just as Hanani, Mishael, and Azariah were not affected when they were thrown into a fire, and the fire took a look at them and ran away, you should, so the fire of my fever should take one look at Pliny ben Pliny, he should say his name and then the son of his mother's name, and should run away from me. Okay, now the Gemara has a list of incantations that you could say to cure things. First of them is shchin, boils. So the Gemara says you have to bring down the malachim that heal this, and you have to say the following thing: Bazbazia, Masmasya, Kaskasya, Sharloi, and Amarloi. Those are the names of these malachim. You are the one sent from Sidon to heal these boils. Now, lav dafka, they're coming from Sidon, but that's what you say. Then you talk to the boils, and you say, Bazach bozich, baz bozich, mas mosich, kamoin kamich. Rashi says these words don't have any conventional meaning. And you say to them, Einech bech, you should say the same color. Aser bech, you should stay in the same place. Zar chikot kipirdo, the lepora v'leravia. You should be like a mule or a kalut, which cannot have children, meaning you should not spread. Okay, that'll cure boils. What about kippah? The kippah, Rashi says, is either blisters or being occupied by a spirit, a shade, possessed by a shade. So you should say the following thing. You should say, Cherev shlufa v'kela netusha. My sword is drawn and slingshot is loaded. And its name is not Yochav, painful illness. Okay, that'll get rid of that. Next, if you have to get rid of a demon, a shade, According to Rashi, it's not clear why this is different than before. You should say the following thing: Haves depokik haves. You're plugged up. Lita tavor mishumas bartit bartame bartina keshamgaz merigaz. You will be cursed, broken, excommunicated. You who are called bartit bartame bartina shamgaz merigaz and istamai. Okay. Now, next, if you have a shade haunting the bathroom and it's hurting people who go in there, and this happened frequently, we saw this in Masechta Brachos as well, you should say, Akar kafe da ariva ve'auske de goriaisa ashkachtun l'shidoi bar shiriko panda be'meisha decharti chavtei be'loya dechamora chatarte. You should say, on the head of a lion, the nose of a lioness, is the shade of bar shirika panda, that's his name. I chopped him down in a field of Karti, and with a jawbone of a donkey, I beat him up. Okay, now we get to halacha. The Mishnah had said that B'nai Melachim, princes are allowed to go out on Shabbos wearing the bells that they often wear as ornaments. Royals wear it, and the Gemara said that the Mishnah had said that everybody's allowed to wear it, just that it's common for princes to wear it. So Gemara has a machlokes about this. Who is this Tana that says that everybody's allowed to wear these royal things? So Gemara says that this must be Rav Oshia, that Rav Oshia says this must be Rav Shimon, who says that all Jews count as royalty and therefore you're allowed to wear royal things. Now the problem with these things is that if you wear something that you don't belong wearing, people are going to make fun of you. You're going to take them off and carry it, or you may take it off to show it off. So Rav says no, this could be anybody. And the bells are sewn onto the garment, and therefore you can't take them off, even if people make fun of you, even if you want to show them off. Okay, now we get to the Mishnah. The Mishnah continues our discussion of various healing remedies by listing a number of things which you are allowed to wear on Shabbos because they are healing. It'll also note that there is a machlokes as to whether you're allowed to do these things at all because of the Isser of Chukas HaGoyim, doing things that the Goyim believed in because of superstitions. The Gemara will give a ruling halachically, and then the Gemara will have a lengthy brisa listing a number of different things which are forbidden because of Chukas HaGoyim and two which are permitted. So let's see. The Mishnah says that there are 4 things, which is a machlokes between Rabbi Meir and the Chachamim, if you're allowed to do them even on Shabbos, because they're not carrying, because they are healing, they have healing properties. And the Chachamim would say not even allowed to do it during the week because it counts as the Darkei and Moiri. It counts as following in the ways of the Goyim and their superstitious practices. So the 4 things are wearing a egg of a chargol, a type of grasshopper, a tooth of a fox, the nail from the cross on which one was crucified, those are the 3 things. 3 things. On that we have this machlokes. Now the Gemara explains what these were for. The locust egg was for an earache. The fox tooth was for sleep issues. A live fox helped somebody who was falling asleep stay awake, and a tooth taken from a dead fox helped somebody who was too wakeful to fall asleep. Now the nail from the cross, this was a Sanhedrin cross. They used to hang people after they were stoned or they were executed for other reasons. So the cross is used to help a swelling of a wound. Now, the Mishnah said there was a machlokes whether you're allowed to do this or not. So the Gemara says Abaye and Rava say that the halacha is as follows: anything which works, it actually heals, you're allowed to do. There's no problem of chukas HaGoyim. Anything which doesn't work is pure superstition. You're not allowed to do it. There's many different opinions in the Rishonim to define what is meant by works. Rambam says it has to be scientifically proven to work. The Rosh says it has to be something which experience has shown that it works. Whatever it is, there is no superstition in Judaism at all. These are things which have a functional purpose. Otherwise, it's considered foolishness and prohibited. As a matter of fact, the Meiri says that the cures, which we've seen in the first part of the daf, the Gemara lists them because they're obviously not functional, and you're supposed to learn from them not to do them. Okay, anyway, let's see what we have over here. The Gemara says, okay, so you're telling me something which doesn't work I'm not allowed to do, but my question is, if you have a tree which is too fruitful, it's too vital, and it's losing its fruits too quickly, what do? So there are 2 things. The Brisa says you can either put rocks on it, and that'll help weaken it. So that I understand, that works, the Gemara says, but it also says to paint it red. Now, if you paint it red, it's not going to help. So what's the point in that? Obviously, it's a superstition, but it's not usher. So Gemara says, no, it's not superstition. The point of it is that everybody who walks by will see that your tree is painted red. It must be that it has this problem, and they will pray for you. Similar halacha, we see that the mitzayro, when it was teras, has to call out tamei, 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 so that people will hear and pray for him. We also have a similar thing about a palm tree that's losing its fruits too quickly. The Gemara says you should hang some dates on it that'll help by people seeing it and praying for you. Okay, now we have quotes from Brises in the 7th and 8th parak of the Tosefta of Shabbos, which lists a number of different things that the Emiri used to do, the Goyim used to do for superstitious cures. And the Gemara says that somebody said this over to Reb Chia bar Avin, and he said only 2 of these are mutter. There are only 2 of these that you're allowed to do. The rest are forbidden. The first, the 2 that you're allowed to do is if you have a bone stuck in your throat, you bring another same type of bone and you put it on top of your head, and you say chad chad nachiz bala nachiz chad chad. 1 by 1 go down and be swallowed go down 1 by 1. That works. That's not usher. If you have a fish bone stuck in your throat, so you say ni'at stakimachad nin alta kitris, you're stuck like a needle, you're locked like a shutter. Go down, shoya. Okay, so that you're allowed to do. However, now for the rest of the parak, we will have a list of things which one is not allowed to do, which are many examples of the Darkei HaMeiri. Okay, so first of all, we have 2 things that are clearly forbidden, but it's actually a machlokes whether it's just mishum Darkei HaMeiri or it's actually avodah zarah. One is somebody who wants to improve his fortune, so he says Gadi, which might be calling out to his constellation called the Gadi, or according to Yehuda, it's an avodah zarah, like it says in the pasuk Archam Lagad Shulchan, people who set a table out for God. So this is either aser because it's the Ameri, or because it's avodah zarah. Another thing which is similar is if somebody wants his barrels of wine to be strengthened, so he says Dunu Danai, which is referring to the Dan. So Rav Yehuda again says that's an avodah zarah, like it says Hanishbayim ba'ashmas shoymer va'armu chei elikecha elihecha dun, those who call out to this idol of the dun. So again, it's the same thing. Now, other things we have here is somebody who at night is careful to call his wife with his name and she calls him by her name. That's Darkei HaMeiri. Somebody who sees a raven and he says to it, croak for my good luck, or he says a female raven and he says you croak and turn your tail to me and that's for my good luck. That's superstition. Darkei HaMeiri. Somebody has a rooster that crows at night, or a hen that crows like a rooster. Those are also, and you are careful to slaughtering them because they do weird things. That's Asar Mishum Darkei HaMeiri. This is actually a bit of an issue because Rabbi Yehuda Chassid wrote that you should do this in his Tzava, and it's understood that he had a different girsa in this Gemara. He had that of Ramach, which is out there. Next, if somebody says he chants to his cup of wine, he says, I'll drink and I'll leave over, I'll drink and I'll leave over, which is supposed to make him be satisfied by less wine. That's also superstition. Somebody who has chicks that were just hatched and he wants them to live, so he either smashes the eggshells against the wall in front of them, or he stirs a pot in front of them, or he's merakid in front of them, he dances, or if he counts 71 of them. These are all forbidden mishum Darkei HaMeiri. Next, if people are trying to make their food that they're cooking improve, so you have a woman who dances in front of a pot of kutach, or she silences people from speaking in front of a pot of lentils, or she tells people to shout in front of a pot of beans. All these are aser. If she urinates in front of a pot of food, that's also aser. One thing you're allowed to do is you're allowed to put a piece of wood from a strawberry plant or some other type of fruit tree, or a piece of glass into the pot. That's actually scientifically proven to increase the cooking speed, but Chazal said not to put the glass fragment in there because you may end up swallowing it, which would be not good. Okay, now about lamps. So the Gemara says that you're allowed to put salt into the lamp to make it burn brighter. That's scientific. And you're allowed to put mud or clay under the lamp so that it should burn slower. Also, you shouldn't cover a lamp of oil or of kerosene because it'll burn too fast, and then you're wasting your oil and you're wasting your kerosene. That would be baltashkos. Okay, now one of the things that you are allowed to do is you're allowed to offer a toast on wine and say Chamar v'chaya lepum rabbanan, wine and life to the mouths of the Rabbanim. You're allowed to say that. That's a bracha for somebody that's not an incantation. And the Gemara even says Rabbi Akiva made a suda for his son, and this is what he did. Every cup of wine, he said, Chamra v'chaya l'fum Rabbanim, v'chaya v'chamra l'fum Rabbanim v'talmidehoin, and the students. And obviously, if Rabbi Akiva did it, that is not a problem. This is the end of the 6th chapter of Masechta Shabbos. There's a couple lines left in the daf, but we'll save it for tomorrow, which will be the beginning of the next chapter, Perek Klal Godol.